The day has finally arrived that I am able to show off to you PGA 2K23, something a little bit more than Topgolf. We are going to be getting into the meat and potatoes starting today and lasting until launch. So, if you are interested in 2K23 content all the way up to launch, through launch, past launch, you're going to want to sub to the channel because we have a ton coming out. Now, I am recording this video towards the back end of my time with the preview build because I actually initially recorded a first look video, and it's like, boy, I've learned a lot since then. So I just scrapped it, and we're doing it from towards the end because I've learned so much. I have a little bit better of an understanding of kind of the systems for the MyPlayer, and I want to give you all right information right off the get-go. There are some things with the preview build that I'm not going to be able to show. Can't show the designer. Can't show any of the online whatsoever. Some of the modes can't show, but I am able to show you the MyPlayer, the MyCareer, the Play Now. We can play as pros. You've seen Topgolf already. So there is some stuff that I am able to show off so you can get a little bit better of a grasp of what you're going to be getting with PGA 2K23. But we're starting with the MyPlayer deep dive. I think that's a great place to start because a lot has changed with the MyPlayer and how your progression is going to work through your playtime in the game this year. So I'm going to take you through all these. I can't show you the Clubhouse Pass. I can't get into it. I can tell you it looks pretty good. So I'm pretty excited for that. But everything else I can show you, and I will show you, and we'll be going through all of the systems today so that you understand what you're going to be getting into when you buy the game. So we're going to start with the Golfer tab, the biggest part of your MyPlayer. So first things first, you're going to start with your appearance, and you have all these presets that you can choose from. From there, you can do whatever you would like. You can come through skin tone. You can edit your face entirely, eyes, nose, ears, mouth, cheeks, jaw, the whole 9 yards for a creator. You have your eye color. It would be nice to have it would have been cool if they had where you could pick from the color wheel, but I don't know. There's still a good selection. There's not a whole lot of hair selections. I wish there was more. It is pretty limited. You do have the ability to choose 3 different colors to put into your hair, though, so you can get a little bit of depth when you actually go to edit the color of your hair. Not a lot of beard options either, which is, again, kind of a bummer. I hope more can get added in eventually at some point, but pretty limited there. You still get the color options. You have your eyebrows to choose from. Again, color options. You have, eyeshadow, eyeliner, lipstick. All you are able to come in here and choose whatever freaking color you want under the sun. You can do if you'd like to do that as well. And finally, you have height. Unfortunately, no weight. Is it something that maybe, hopefully, they can add back in? I mean, maybe, hopefully. But as it sits right now, you can only choose your height. I want to make thick boy. Like me, I want to make the thick boy, but this is the model that you get. You can just choose height, and it just literally just either makes them taller or makes them shorter. That's it. But that's your appearance in a nutshell. Next up, you have your info. What you're gonna name him. First name, last name, nationality, hand in his gender. That you all do here. And now we get into the big stuff. So first up, you have your archetyped. There are 5 archetypes, and each of them have their own base stats that you start with. Now, in a later video that's going to be coming out, I do actually go through all of these a little bit more in depth, like with actual gameplay, so you can see them all. I started on Powerhouse. I've moved to Sculptor recently just to kind of test it out a little bit before, I lose access to the preview build. And by the way, I'm going to have like 20 plus videos recorded. Probably not gonna be able to release them all, but I'm recording a ton of content so I can kind of just deep dive into everything for you all leading up to 2K23 so that you feel that you're the most informed for if you're going to be making a purchase or not. But anyways, back to this. Archetypes. So the first thing you have up is Greensman. Another thing that's really nice, In 2K21, once they kind of gave you like, these are the stats for your clubs, then you could never look at it again. This year, if you actually hit the help menu button, if you've already like gone through it once, if you hit the help menu, it actually goes through all of it again. So I'm gonna go through these with you guys just so you kind of know what each of them does. First, you have your power, how far you can hit it. That's all you need to know about that. Timing. This is your hook and slice forgiveness window. So the timing window is your tempo. So the better the timing stat you have, the bigger the perfect window is and the gray window is, which is fairly big this year. The bigger it is, though, it's not as punishing. The timing window, it's not as punishing for the grays. So having a bigger one would actually probably help in the long run. Next, we have swing path. That's the accuracy bar in the bottom right if you played 2K21. You can go back and watch also the Top Golf content that I did. You can kind of see all of these things at work. But in the bottom right, the swing path is your accuracy. So how accurate you are with your stick movement. Next is the transition window. Transition window is your power. So you have your power bar and you have the gray section and then your perfect section for your power. Transition, bigger that is, the bigger that window is for you to hit your perfect power and to hit your just under, just over power as well. But the bigger that is, the better it is for partial shots. Partial shots they're pretty tough and you have to use them a lot in this year's game. So bigger transition window might work out in the end. Next up, you have shot shaping. So you have draw, fade, and spin. So the higher this is, the more you can spin the ball. So that's very key, which is why I've kind of been messing around with Sculptor lately. And also the more you can draw and fade the ball. And not only that, but when you do draw and fade the ball, it actually affects your accuracy and your tempo less as well. So it makes that window, it makes it small, but if you have a bigger shaping, it doesn't make it as small. So there's a lot of pluses to have with the shaping that I think could be used favorably. That's why I'm messing with the Sculptor. If I learn anything new, a video will be coming out for it. Next, we have lie range. I actually talk about this throughout the rounds that I play that you'll see. Through what I have seen, the bigger the lie range, the smaller your accuracy becomes. So instead of like 60 to 80% out of heavy rough, it'll be like 65 to 78 or something. Like it'll be slightly tighter. Not only that, but from what I've seen, I believe it moves the scale up too. So instead of a 60 to 80, it's a 68 to 82. It kind of moves it in your favor and it tightens it up at the same time, which again could be fairly useful, especially if you're off the beaten path a lot. Putt path is when you're putting, that's your accuracy line. So your accuracy line gives you your putt path. On Master Plus difficulty, the putt path is very small. Very small. And pushing it and pulling it, just even slightly, can really mess you up. So putt path's going to be another one that's going to be, I think, pretty key this year. Putt weight is the power window. So you have a power window, just like you have a power window for regular shots. You have a power window to get the perfect power. Again, it is so small. It is so small to hit the perfect, and the putting is quite sensitive, so it's actually extremely difficult to hit that. So you're gonna end up shorting a lot of putts, hitting a lot of putts hard. It's definitely a little bit more difficult. So having that a little higher could, also help. But that's all those broken down, and then from there you break it up into your archetype. So there's the greensman. Putting is big. Recovery, not so much. You have your powerhouse, which I started on. And you can hit it pretty far right off the rip. It's like 291 you can hit it right off the rip. You just lose a lot in your putting, in your timing, your swing path. You can hit it really far, but you're going to be pushing, pulling, slowing, fasting, all of that. But it gives you a pretty good balance for your lie and your shaping and your transition. You have rhythm, which skews it over towards if you're having trouble with your timing and your swing path and everything. That will make that a lot better for you. But 60 power. I think it is like 270, something like that for the power off the drive. But it definitely hurts you off the rip. But if you're struggling with timing and swing path, it might be something to look at. And then there's Sculptor. So the putting, not that great. I would say pretty bad. But it still gives you a decent amount of power. 73. Swing path is also good, but the shot shaping is the most. And like I said, being able to draw, fade, spin is going to be the biggest one. And it doesn't affect it as much, so you can add more spin while not affecting your tempo as much. I think that it could be potentially a good one to start with. And then you have the Woodsman. Putting, this is the worst putter to start out of all of them. This is the worst, but you can recover really well. Lie range is up, shaping is up, so you can still add a bunch of spin. Transition's good. Power's actually not even that bad either at 70. So it's a good place. It's a good place to start, especially if you're off the beaten path a lot. It might be good, but if you're playing at like Master Legend, and that putting is really going to eat you up when you get on the greens. And then next up, we have the skill sheet. And you all have seen this if you watched the gameplay breakdown I did, or if you watched the trailer for the gameplay. You have seen this screen. It is very expansive. There are a lot of things to learn when you get onto the course. Like, they're lit up in the top right. Keeping track of them, I have no idea. I wish there was a little bit better way to keep track of them. I'm probably gonna have to write them all down to see what all they get. It might just be kind of like a set it and forget it though type of thing too. But the way that it works, you get a skill point every time you level up to a maximum of 50. What you have to do in order to unlock the different tiers, because right now they're all locked, you just have to put 4 in any of these. If you put 4 points in any of these, it unlocks the next one. Then you have to put another 4 to get to 8. And once you do that, it unlocks the next tier. And then you have to get to 12, and then 16, 20 to unlock them all. And you have 50 points to spend in total. So, like if I was to do normal shots, receive a swing path boost, all I have to do is miss 3 fairways. So if I was to go in here and go, 1. So we have it activated. Miss 3 fairways in regulation. And I get a swing path boost. So the swing path is that accuracy. And it deactivates once I hit 2 fairways. But I can put another point into it. We can go to 2. And now it's miss 3 fairways in regulation and deactivates after you hit 2 fairways in regulation. And that just means any 2 fairways. So once it's activated, if I hit 1 fairway, miss the second, hit another fairway, it deactivates it until I miss 3 fairways again. And then we can do the final level, which is 3. And that is if you miss 2 fairways in regulation, it then activates it. And then I have to hit 2 fairways in a row. So if I hit 1 and miss the second, it resets. And I have to hit 2 in a row. So if I just go hit 1, miss 1, hit 1, miss 1, hit 1, miss 1. Technically, I could keep the swing path boost off the tee with my driver for an entire round. But you're gonna want to hit fairways. But just in case maybe you're a little wild that day, you'll be able to get this, and you could potentially keep it for the entire round. How big the boost is, I can't really tell. I mean, obviously it's something. I have had this activated. It does seem a little bigger, but how much of a boost that is, I mean, it could be fairly negligible too. That would just require more testing. But you have, I mean, all of these. I'm not going to go through them all because they're a ton. there are a ton. Like, just to kind of show you all like what I mean by the tiers unlocking. We'll do this hybrid, hitting into a headwind 15 miles an hour or greater. You receive a flight boost, which is distance, I have found out. And then since we put that point in, the new tier unlocks. And we can do something like this. Hit just any 3 fairways in regulation. All I have to do is hit 3. I hit 3, I get this FIR finder, fairway and regulation finder, which gives us shaping boost off the tee. So we'll be able to shape it, draw or fade it more, and it won't affect the tempo as much. So, I mean, that's something that I want to get. So we're going to get level 1 there, level 2 there, which means we have to, if we miss 2 fairways, this is something you can keep the whole time. If you hit every fairway in regulation, let's say, you will keep this skill the entire round because you have to miss 2 fairways. And the next one, you have to do 2 in a row. So technically you could keep this legitimately the entire round. Something else, another one that I've been using and I have been liking, if I remember what exactly it is. All I have to do to activate this is land within 7 yards of the pin. This could happen on hole number 1. And from there on out, I have a shaping boost, so I'll be able to spin it more with my pitch shots with my irons. So 9 iron, 8 iron pitch shots, all of those, I'll be able to spin them more or shape them. But draw, fade if you want to. But you get that shaping boost until I just miss 1 green in regulation. So again, technically, you could keep this for an entire round. I'm going to take a second point, though, to get us to 10.3 yards is what it becomes. And that unlocks the next tier. And so forth and so on. But those are the skills. That's how they work. I've noticed playing in the career mode kind of gives you the most amount of XP. I would probably say maybe go into career mode, do some play now. Haven't seen any of the online, so I don't know what the XP looks like for the online. But the career mode gives you a pretty big bump for your XP to kind of go and just at least get to 50 and kind of farm these out a little bit. Because you do get, I mean, some pretty cool things at the end as well. So like receive a roll, putt weight, putt path boost on the green, and some of these are passive, so they're just always active. Normal shots receive a transition boost, swing path, timing. Like there are some very, very good ones at the end here that are definitely going to be worth it to get for your MyPlayer for sure. So there is going to take some grinding of the game to get your MyPlayer where you want to get your MyPlayer. Now, how long that takes, not 100% certain. I've bounced all over the place during the preview, and I'm level 10. For a moment there, every round I played was a level. It's slowed down a little bit, but you're going to have to play a few rounds. I mean, that's for sure. You're going to have to play a few rounds to get it up to a 50 to unlock all of this. Before we hop into the locker, I do want to go to the pro shop. There is a lot in here, and I do kind of just want to show you all some of it. So first off, you have your featured sets. All of these cosmetic. They hold no bearing whatsoever on your gameplay. They are all cosmetic. So you have your featured items. You have a weekly item that you can buy, but you also have a daily item, and there's a ton of them too in these daily items, men's and women's, that you can buy. So one of the things that I said for feedback is you had to get to a point of trying to get people to log in every day. If not every day, every week, you know? And cosmetics are, I think, a good way to do that, especially ones that have no bearing on your gameplay whatsoever. So coming in and seeing what the dailies are every day. Maybe there's something in there, as long as the content continues to roll out for it. What's the weekly? What featured? Have those changed? You know, it'll be good to come in here and just kind of just see what they have for sale. See if it's something that you'd like to put onto your golfer. So this is a welcome addition for me. I do like this. I like cosmetics. As long as the content's there, I love it. And next up, you have all the equipment. Again, this is not 2K21. All of these are cosmetic only. They have no bearing whatsoever on your attributes. So like in 2K21, you needed to get a Bridgestone driver to hit it the furthest. They have a different system this year, which I thoroughly enjoy, where you can use any one of these drivers. Maybe I don't freaking want to use a Bridgestone. Maybe I want to use this Titleist TS3. Well, you can do that now. And then there's a different system in place that you can build your attributes up for. So all of these are cosmetic. There are a ton of them in here. 2 iron, not in the game again. I looked, not there. Some clubs only have a 3 and a 5. Some have a 4. Like this has a 3, 4, and 5. 3 and a 5, 3 and a 5, 3 and a 5. So you are going to have to mix your bag up if you do want like a 4 wood. But every single one at least has a 3 and a 5 wood. Hybrids, 3 and a 4 hybrid is what you get. I don't think any of them. One of them does have the 5 hybrid, and that is the 2K. So if you want to use a 5 hybrid, you can have it. Irons, 4 through 9. 4 through 9, 4 through 9, 4 through 9. Some have 3. The TaylorMade P7 MC irons, 3 iron. So some of them do have a 3 iron. I believe the HB0 Sum does. Yep. So the classic F01 2K does. Zero Sum I unlocked. Don't know if it has a 3 iron. You unlock it through the career mode. So that I'm actually not sure of. You have all of your wedges, gap through sand that you can choose from. They have dictated lofts as well. It's not something you choose. At least it's not something I found you can choose yet. Then you have all the putters. You have the fun putters too. The fun putters are back. Like we have some fish, the flamingo, the winter flamingo dinner was a great meme. The candy cane, banana, hot dog, taco. But I mean, you got some good ones in here too. The patina, Ben Hogan, the Cameron, which the XO55, Spider X. I mean, there's some good putters in here. Again, all cosmetic. And then you have golf balls. These are not the sleeves that you have been hearing about. We'll get to those. That's why I wanted to come in here first, to avoid confusion. These are, again, all cosmetic. And I will tell you, a little tease, but potentially some of these golf balls you'll be able to get, and maybe they have little skins attached to them. So, you know, something to look forward to. This is one of my favorites, the dirt ball. Just a range ball that you picked up out of the swamp. I love it. This is your default. There's some that you can unlock during the career mode too, which you'll see because I have some of them unlocked. But these are all cosmetic that you can buy. And once you buy them, you have them forever. And apparel, I mean, I'm not going to go through all this, but there's a ton. Unfortunately, no color wheel, which sucks. I'm hoping, though, that they're able to put in more shirts with more colors. But as it sits right now, no color wheel, just colors that you can choose from for all of the cosmetics that are in here. You got all your bottoms as well. I mean, there is a ton. There is definitely a ton. You have a kilt. There is a ton of gear. All of your eyewear. I've unlocked some too through the career. So I mean, that's another reason to play the career, so you can kind of unlock everything. All of our watches, gloves, footwear. They have a mixture of footwear, actual golf shoes. Here's all your socks that you can choose from, but there's golf shoes, there's basketball shoes, there's loafers, there's all sorts of things that you can unlock as well playing in the career. I'm gonna guess you're probably gonna be very picky at the beginning because you're gonna want to save those coins for doing the attributes, doing the fittings, which we're gonna get into right after this. So you're probably gonna want to be a little picky, but once you get past that, I mean, you're gonna have plenty of stuff to spend your golf coins on. Which brings us to the locker. So this is all the fun stuff coming up. We'll start with what you have in your bag. So this shows everything that you have in your bag. You can go through and specifically change it to something else that you have and would like to put into your bag, like a 3-iron or a hybrid or a wood, whatever you would like to change it to. You can also just go over to full collection. And let's say, like I have right now, the Ping G425 chosen. Let's say, oh, I want to use the LTD. Just boop and put it on, just like that. Again, cosmetic. This doesn't have anything to do with your attributes, and you can do it for all of them. Like, if I wanted the classic FO1, I can do this, and I can just do a specific club, or I can apply it to the entire set. So every single wood that I have in my collection will switch to the cosmetic of this wood here. And you can also do that for all of the shafts, all of the grips too. Again, all cosmetic. Here's all the irons. I just got some D9 forges, so we can apply that to the set. Boom. We have D9 forged now for our irons. All of our wedges, shafts, putters that we have. Here's where your golf balls are. So I unlocked this golf club golf ball. So this is the golf ball that I see, and you can actually see it during rounds, which is pretty cool. Now, the elephant in the room, I'm going to get to it right now before we go into the fittings. The elephant into the room is the golf balls. So these are your default golf balls. Spin, flight, bounce, roll. Higher the bounce, the more bounce you get. Higher the roll, the more rollout you get on that ball. The more flight, the further the ball goes. And the more spin you have, the more spin you're able to apply to your shots. Now, if you come into the golf ball, you have your ball type and ball appearance. Ball appearance is what I just showed you. You can change it anytime. It's cosmetic. But ball type. Here are all of the sleeves that you have been asking questions about. There's different tiers. There's commons, uncommons, rares, epics, legendaries. So the legendaries, the way that it works, the commons are a little bit more evened out, I would say. Uncommons gives you, I mean, it's still, I'm gonna guess that it's still pretty even. Eventually people are gonna find a ball that they want, though, that they want to use all the time, and you can do that all the time. So like the legendary ball, 95 spin. It's like, yeah, it has great spin. It doesn't roll out at all, so you will always have like a lot of spin on it. You won't be able to take some spin off and roll it as much. Bounce isn't going to be as great, and you're not going to be able to hit it as far too, because the flight is down to 40. But it does have a lot of spin. Same with this one, the Aviator LV1. You can hit it far, can't spin it, and it doesn't roll, and it doesn't bounce. So like you can hit it really far, but there are trade-offs for all of these. This one, ton of spin, good flight, decent bounce, 5 roll. So eventually probably going to get to a point where you're finding a ball that you like, and you're just going to be probably using that. I'm going to guess you're going to be spending the majority of your coins on this. Not at first. You don't need it at first, but it is something that you're going to be buying. And you do that from this screen. So if you like this ball and you want this ball, you hit A, you hit refill, and it brings you to this. 300, 540, 900 for 12 of them. The way that it works is one ball equals a round. It also equals a round in multiplayer, in at least I think multiplayer. We haven't played it, I'm guessing, because it eats one of these balls if you play around a Top Golf. If you're doing around a Top Golf, you're probably going to want to just do a default ball. You're not going to want to use these until you actually get into rounds. So what happens is you play the round, it eats one of the golf balls. So you have 12, play a round, you now have 11. If you do run out of the ball that you use after a round, it'll ask like, hey, you want to refill it? And you can do that right from there. This will be the part where, I mean, it could become pay to win. I don't know. You can buy virtual currency. Don't know the prices, but you can buy virtual currency, and you will be able to buy these balls. If they're balanced, I don't think there's going to be a problem. Looking through them, they look balanced. Could there be a meta? Definitely. And there could be a ball that's better than all of them. And it might not even be the legendary ball, honestly. It could be a lot of balls, but
that's what she said.
They look fairly balanced, but this is where you could see potentially a pay to win aspect. I will say this though, I'm trying to ease everybody's minds. I don't want to be too doom and gloom with you all right now. I make a shitload of golf coins, a ton. I'm level 10. I have reset my skills 3 times, just working on stuff. I've bought clubs. I've bought clothes. I have fitted a bunch, unfit a bunch, then fit them again. I've done a lot. Honestly, I mean, I wish I could see what my career earnings are, but I've probably made a good amount, and I am level 10. So I think that there will be a lot like PGA 2K21, where you just get so many coins. I don't even know what I'm sitting on in 2K20. 80,000? I have no idea. It's so much. So having something to spend the coins on, if it's not cosmetics that you're doing, if it's not both, I'm sure you're going to be able to afford both. At the beginning, though, it's definitely going to seem like, man, this is pay to win. This sucks. But I've been doing fine with a default ball. Honestly, I've been doing fine. I hit the ball far. It spins good. It spins really good, actually, on the default ball. Bounces are good, rollouts are good. I mean, the default ball is fine. You never have to buy a default ball, ever. You always have the default ball. But I honestly, I don't see it being a problem. I would tell you if I thought it was going to be a problem. I don't see it being a problem at all. At first, it may seem like it. In the long run, a couple weeks out, I don't think it'll be an issue at all. But I mean, if that changes, I'll definitely let you know. But I've made so many coins. I know it shows 20 now. I just spent 500 resetting everything so I could show you guys that. So here you can actually go through apparel. You can do a casual round, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. That's all back. You can copy your outfit, all that jazz. You can do 4 rounds if you'd like. But now we come to another part of the meat and potatoes, and that is the fittings. So these are all of the fittings that I have. Some of them I already have on the clubs, but this is where you're going to be adjusting your attributes from the base attributes you have from your archetype. And they are broken down by club. So right now I have a driver, this driver. you can do for the driver head, shaft, grip. And you can do those 3 for all of your clubs. You can also do them to only specific clubs. So you don't have to apply them to all. You can just apply them to just a driver, just a 3-wood, just a 6-iron. So you can really fine tune everything that you would like without having to change the cosmetic that you want for your bag. No loadouts. I would have liked to have loadouts, not here, but it does make it a lot more manageable because when it's all said and done, you can actually deconstruct all of these. So if you get one you don't want, if you get a duplicate you don't want, just deconstruct it. If you're never going to use it, get rid of it because you get coins. So like this gives me 40 coins. And once you play enough, you kind of get these as you play. You cannot buy them. You get them as you play rounds. So you're going to be getting them. You're going to be able to deconstruct them. But once you get to a point, you know, you might have a couple of loadouts for your different clubs. You can just come in here and just keep fitting them if you want, depending on how you're playing. But the way it works is, so right now I have this head attached to all my hybrids. It takes away 3 power. It adds 8 timing, though, to my hybrids. And as you can see, as I scroll through these, see how the attributes change? That's because each of these are separate. The only thing that matters is the base archetype and what you have fitted to those clubs. So on this hybrid, let's say I wanted to fit this new fit that I got, which is the hybrid shaft, and it's a +6 lie range. So it gives me +6 lie range. I lose -2 shaping. I gain +5 transition. I lose 1 swing path. I gain 4 timing. So if I would like, I can select this and fit it to my clubs. And when I fit it to them, it'll give you a price. So it's 150 coins to do all of them. All 3 clubs. I can only do a 4 hybrid if I want. If I wanted to do them all, it's 150 coins, and it will apply those attributes to this club. So you're going to have for every single one of these clubs. So like my 4 hybrid has both of these, the timing and the lie range on it. 70, 76, 80, 67, 84, 73, goes 220 yards. This 5 hybrid has both of them, goes 209. This 3 hybrid I'm not using right now, but if I were to use it, it would go 234. So you can really fine tune a bag to specific distances that you would like without having to go through and scroll through like all of the clubs that you have because you got a bunch of them and you're going to be mixing bags up. Like you'll have a certain 5-iron instead of a 6-iron, and it sometimes it became a mess. Here you can fine tune it, pick whatever clubs you want. I want to use a Titleist? Use a Titleist. Doesn't matter. Those mean nothing. This is what matters. And you can always, if you want, you can just say, I don't want it anymore. Just go to none if you'd like to. But you apply all these here. Again, you cannot buy these. You only get them by playing the game. That is the only way you can get them. Different rarities. I don't know if they're in a set order. I haven't noticed. I don't know. They kind of seem a little random. But there are 100 of them that you can choose from. You get one almost after every round. Every time you get a level, you get them. You earn some of them also through the career mode. So you'll get them fairly regularly to add on to your clubs to essentially kind of make you feel a little bit more powerful after every round that you play, if you choose to fit. And that's where builds come in. Doing certain archetypes and then building from those archetypes to like go with the greensman and then build into power through your fittings. The possibilities are endless. I have messed around with it a lot, and it's pretty good. Right now, with a ball, you can get about a 320 drive, I believe, carry. Huge. Just absolutely bombing balls. But then other things take a hit. And if we're playing on Master or Legend, those other things are going to bury you. But there's a lot more to get into with this. It so far seems pretty balanced, seems really fun, seems very immersive, very in-depth. It all comes down to the balance. Will there be a meta? Maybe. No idea. For now, though, really enjoy this system. I enjoy this system a lot more than I did just the different clubs, being locked into certain clubs always. Because that kind of takes you out of the immersion. I don't want to freaking use Bridgestone, you know? I want to use a Titleist or whatever. You can do that now. You are not locked into it at all. And if you want to fine tune it a little bit more, I just want to go over this real quick. Like you can come in here and like, here's my driver. I go to fit. I can choose to go back to none if I would like. So if I do none, I'll lose the boost that I would get. You have to confirm it, but you can do this anytime. You can just go back if you'd like. Go back to none. I mean, it doesn't seem worth it, but you can always come in here and just fine-tune specific clubs, though, if you'd like. And for something like a putter, this is where putt path and weight comes into play. So I do have one. It's putt weight, so I'll be able to get the power better, but my putt path goes down to a 59. And you'll see in some of the videos, having the putt path that low, it's fairly hilarious in some instances. You will see. So it's not something I want to put on because I don't want to lose any more putt path, honestly. So there is always give and take with these fits that you put on to these. Now, once we get into the epic legendary ones, if there are legendary, I don't know if the balance is kept the same or not, which brings more into, you're going to have to grind this. I really do think you're going to have to grind this game out. I do believe that you're going to be able to, if you're good at the game, you're going to be good at the game. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, will it become easier the more you play? It is definitely a potential. So there's going to be a little bit of a grind this year to get your MyPlayer to where you want it to be. And I think it's going to be an ever-growing MyPlayer for weeks. So we'll see what that does to the TGC Tours. I mean, that'll all come through testing, but it's going to be interesting to see, to say the least. And that's the meat and potatoes. That's the meat and potatoes. You have a caddy, doesn't do anything. There's no effects to the caddy whatsoever. You just pick from just stock caddies that you have. They essentially appear in cutscenes throughout your time on the course. Your bag, though, the bag that you see there, those are all your clubs that you have. And when you see your caddy, you will see that bag right there on the course, which is kind of cool. I do enjoy that a lot. But caddies have no effect whatsoever. You just see them in cutscenes, essentially. I cannot show you the Clubhouse Pass. Like I said, it is good. I thought it was very good. Looking through it, I think you all will like what you get in there. There is a free version, a premium version as well. The free version does give you some. The premium version gives you cosmetics. There are some other things that you get, but for the majority, it's cosmetics. But I do think at the end of the day, it's going to be worth its price. I hope, personally, we get more than 2. I loved doing them in 2K21. I thought they were a great piece of content to have in there. Hopefully, with the changes that I've seen, they're able to do more of the Clubhouse passes to get people to come back and play their game. That's the hope. But overall, that is the MyPlayer. This probably ended up being a little long. There's a lot. There is a lot. There's so much more than 2K21. There is a lot to dive into. I haven't even scratched the surface yet of the actual archetypes and the fittings, things of that nature. It's going to be fun, at least for me. Some won't see it that way. That's fine. I completely understand that, like, that point of view, you know, just want it stock. Everybody's even. No real differences. I don't want to grind for it. Things like that. I completely get that. But for me, as somebody who plays this game a lot, gets really immersed into the builds, the bags, things of that nature. I love that nerdy shit. Personally, I think I'm going to have a blast with this. But we just have to see how it all balances out once more people get the game and start to work on builds and bags and fittings and all of that. You'll have to let me know down in the comments, I mean, what you think. I'm sure we're going to have a wide range of responses to this, but I am generally curious what everybody's first overall reactions is to the MyPlayer. I know that there is a lot. There's a lot here. This video became very long, but let me know down in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed this content, again, there is so much 2K23 content coming starting today. You're going to want to be along for the ride. So make sure to sub to the channel. When the game launches, content. Past the launch, content. 2K23 content is going to be spilling out of this channel. I greatly appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this content, think about subscribing. Like the video too. Helps the video, helps my channel, helps the algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. Personally, I'm excited after spending a little bit of time in this game for the MyPlayer, but you'll have to let me know what you think down below. Thank you for joining me though. Greatly appreciate you stopping by and taking time out of your day to watch this video, especially if you made it this far. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you on the next one.